Alright, new revisions for the underwater VR. So we have here the controller, and we have basically this wire is just there to act as ground. This is just a regular Bluetooth controller, and this is the last build for the actual platform. So you have here the phone in a waterproof pouch. This is a modified Google Cardboard headset. You can see that it's a lot longer than they usually are, and it does not have any lenses inside. Instead, it uses swimming goggles. Instead, what I'm doing here is I am letting the water be the lens for me, at least in part. And we're gonna go test it now. Alright, time to try this thing out. And I have Google Earth loaded in it, and I'm just gonna fly around. Hopefully using this guy. So let me set the camera up. See, unfortunately, Anthony, my cameraman, is unable to assist today because he got grounded. So we're gonna have to wing it a bit. I'm pretty sure that's okay. There we go. Set this up. And as a reminder, again, this is I started off with a Google Cardboard thing. I still have that software, obviously. So I'm using the water to do parts of the lensing for me, and also to reduce the amount of stuff that needs to be put in a waterproof container. So I'm putting this thing on it. It's cold. Can't see what I'm doing. Hang on. I'll put this thing in the water. There we go. It's better. Okay. Now I'm more or less set. Let's see if this works or not. Okay. Well. One thing I've discovered yesterday is that we have to get this thing to kind of come down on my head. For the purpose of better fit. There we go, that's better. Okay, looks good. Let's see if the Bluetooth thing is running. Seems to be. I think we're ready to give this thing a go, eh? The idea is that this should let me float around in Google Earth. Hold it here. There you go. One thing that surprises me is that the tracking works surprisingly well. Even in and underwater, the compass sensor manages to do its job. What I'm not happy with is this guy yet. So I'm kind of grounding them with each other. Okay, let me see if I can get a bit more control over this. Let's look up so that it flies me to space and come back down. Of course, we're going to have to come up with an actual pouch for this. But what I was worried about is that they do manage to talk to each other. So that's working. Now I'm flying. Let me actually catch a breath here. Less working. Now I want to do an accuracy test whereby I'm going to start from the camera and I want to see if I can navigate back to it using the Google Earth stuff. So let me set this up real quick. So I'm going to leave the camera on because okay, let's get the Bluetooth stuff going. Now, one thing that's nice about this setup is that this is holding a lot better. Smaller pouch. Looks a lot less homemade. This is actually super cheap to build. I think you're looking at, retail price of, I don't know, $50 probably. It's just not particularly fancy. It's just doing its job. For now, I'm gonna reset. I gotta get the Bluetooth to work in the other option there. Let's do that real quick. Okay, let's unlock this guy. Bluetooth, come on. What we will obviously have to do is do a better job with this pouch. You can actually see there's a bit of water intake, however, not sufficiently to cripple the damn thing. That's okay. It's all part of the test. That's the experiment. That's the whole point. Well, the idea here is to use the ground wire for Bluetooth, which seems to be sufficient to get it to communicate without problems. What I will do eventually is I'm going to have an external wire that goes from this one to the other one, and that should settle the matter for good. In fact, we can try that right now. Let me just adjust it real quick. So I'm sorry you can't see what I'm doing here, but unfortunately there's limitations within this medium. Make sure that this is the ground wire. I gotta make sure that it touches the conductive plastic here, and it's gotta do so in a way that doesn't get in the way of anything else. There we go. That's more like it. What I'm thinking about doing is sticking to the pouch for the Android device and making a waterproof Bluetooth steering system, I guess you could call it, which is immensely easier than the alternative. There we go. I think this is better. when it comes to water stuff. Okay, there we go. I'm going to go to the Bluetooth stuff again. So make sure it's set up as a keyboard, because of course we're going to have to disable the touchscreen. Okay. We are in fact connected here. You can see the arrow coming up as it should. And I just put this thing back into Google Earth mode, and let's see if I can orient myself using it. That is, to me, the real test to this. Of course, to set this guy up, you just have to treat it like a regular Google cardboard device. In this case, we have cut a notch for the pouch. And we have, since yesterday, we have 3D printed a spacer. Very simple design, very simple build. This is something you can easily give out for free if you need to. And here we go. Now we're going to have to set it up from the air, quote unquote. Again, pouch here definitely needs a better setup for it. That's easy. So one thing that we must do is that we have to control it with that joystick. So we're going to have to turn off the touchscreen on it. Let's get under maps. Of course, it makes sense to generate a custom app for this eventually. Fortunately, cardboard has stopped. Of course, it did. Okay, just turn on the touch lock. There we go. We have now turned on the touch lock. And I think we're overall in business. Make sure we put this thing in correctly. Okay, that looks okay. Lower the goggles. And now I'm going to try to swim using this to actually kind of direct myself. It should be a significant enough experiment to demonstrate the validity of this at this stage. Feel around for this. There we go. There we go. Doesn't like it. Okay. Let me do that then. Alright. See if this is actually following correctly. Let's see where we are. Looks like I was about a step off, not too bad. Well, this is the demonstration of the system. Again, this system was, the design of this thing was requested by Susan Joel and Ryan Holmes, who kind of dared me to do it. So that was fun. And this has been Spirit Lumber from Robots Everywhere. And here's a rare look at my face. I hope you enjoyed the presentation. I will make the schematic and the eventual software available on my wiki as soon as I get back from Australia.